We've hit the halfway mark here in the Hungry Jacks NBL, and one team stands on top of the mountain, but a few others are doing their very best to stay with them as well. Hello and welcome to NBL Overtime. You can use the hashtag NBL Overtime to get involved. Jack Heaven in the chair for Cam Luke, who's just completed a liver transplant. He should be back next week after what's been an unbelievable 3 weeks for him. Great to be with you and great to be joined by the boys at the desk as well. And we've made a change to our lineup, which we'll get to in just a moment. Firstly, Homicide, we've got the memo. We're all in black this week. Good to see you.
Man, always a pleasure. Plenty to get into it. Let's just get into it. There's plenty to get into.
We just look to the other side of the desk, and Liam Santamaria feeling a little unwell this week, so Pete Hawley's been subbed in. Hello, Halls.
Yeah, another late call-up. Always good to be here, and Liam out with a non-COVID related illness, got to say that, so hopefully he's feeling better. But as Corey said, so much to talk about. It's all happening. The business end's about to get really busy. Looking forward to it.
All the good stuff still to come as well. Yes or no, the JD sneaker of the week. And Santa's watching, even though Liam's not here. Halls is taking care of business with Santa's watching. And the power rankings. JackJumpers fans, don't go too far. Liam's power rankings are coming up very shortly. But let's start with Tasmania. And what was on Sunday an incredible day for them shooting the basketball. They haven't necessarily been the best shooting team this year. In fact, Halls, they've been one of the worst shooting teams this year, but they made it rain on Sunday.
Well, they've been one of the most poor offensive teams just in general. And if you had to say at the start of the year, what team would most likely this season have the record equaling 3 points made in a game, I'm not picking the JackJumpers probably in the top 5, maybe even at all. This was just outstanding, and a credit to them. Yes, they started to feel good. Sam McDaniel, he had 20 points in the first 9 minutes he was on the floor in the first half, and then it just opened up. A lot of it was the defensive breakdowns and just little things like not carrying hands to shooters. Look at that one right there, Tim Conrad's hands down. Josh Majette already made one. Josh Adams, he was a beast in this game. 22 threes in a ball game. Oh, what a story. It's just so awesome to see. And Corey, I know you enjoyed this one on Sunday.
I did. We had the opportunity to call it, and I knew coming in, this was a danger game for Illawarra. Scott Roth has this team balling. They've won 4 out of their last 5 games, if I'm correct.
5 out of 6.
5 out of 6. And that's a credit to Scott Roth and how he has this organization and his players rolling. You know, obviously no Will Magnay. You would think going into this game, shorthanded with such a guy who plays a pivotal role in their defense, not there, that they were going to lose the game. But I knew matchup-wise, it worked in their favor. Yeah, they shot the hell out of the ball, but Illawarra's inability to take advantage where they meaning Tasmania, is weak at. So you thought on paper with Magnay out, they could not take advantage of it. And Illawarra's a jump shooting team, so I knew they wouldn't be able to just focus on points in the paint, throwing the ball in the post and taking advantage. And look, again, man, shout out to Tasmania. They did a great job. Liam, I hope you feel better. I hope you feel better, my man. But you got that one wrong.
That's going to, maybe that's why Liam's not here this week. The JackJumpers have been giving him all sorts of headaches with the power rankings. Halls, Scott Roth.
Yep.
If we were having the conversation, and let's have it now, about the coach of the year.
He's second.
He's second, is he?
I think at this point in the season, he'd be second behind Dean Vickerman and Melbourne United. He has been outstanding. You look at this roster that was put together, and if you go through in certain games, 1v1 down the starting 5, even to the bench, put the JackJumpers against any other team, even the Illawarra team 1v1, they lose the majority, if not all of those one-on-one matchups. But as a team, what he's built, the culture, the identity, it's changed since the first 3 weeks. They've bought in now, and they play hard. They play together. The whole system is we, not me. That's what he's preaching. He told Josh Adams, Josh Majette to rein it in a little bit. They're trusting their teammates, and he has done an outstanding job with this roster, and they're just fun to watch. Everybody's rooting for them now because of the way they play.
The interesting thing with them too is it feels as though, from an offensive point of view, they're going to get better. Scott Roth has spoken a lot about the fact that they wanted to build from the defensive end of the floor first, and then, as the season goes on, expand. So, Corey, kind of get the sense we might see more of what we saw on Sunday.
Yeah, I believe that. And, you know, the whole thing is your imports, right? They're going to play. They're going to do their thing. We know this. But it's the fact that the local players are stepping up and they're being consistent on the defensive end, which is giving them, because the ball is now moving. In that game, their offense was grooving. The ball was just going and finding an open man. So guys were getting high percentage looks and making the plays. He has that team rolling, man. Shout out to Scott Roth.
Let's go back to Saturday night. Sydney and Perth at Kudos.
Oh, my
Arena.
goodness.
My throat's still a little bit scratchy, I must admit, and we're 4 days on. It was an incredible game of basketball, one of, if not the best games of the season. High scoring, physical. The rivalry is genuine between these two teams. It was a hell of a night.
Well, it had everything, didn't it? You talk about the rivalry, that's going to be continue to hype up the history between these two teams. But right when it came down to it, big players making big plays, and that's what everybody wants to see. Whether it's a finals matchup or just a semi-finals matchup, some sort of series needs to have these two teams playing against each other. Because that man there, Bryce Cotton, didn't look 100% with a little bit of a thumb injury, but when you're knocking down threes at the rate he does, Jalen Adams is a superstar. We're finally seeing, I think it's clicked to him, okay, this is my team. I've got to lead this team. Good things happen when he does that. He is unreal. Look at that. The plays that he makes. Add Ian Clark to the mix, and the Sydney Kings are going to be a serious force in the rest of this season.
Jalen Adams is the best point guard in the league. It's been a long time since we've seen a point guard like him in this league. The way he goes about it, his height, his athleticism, his ability to create off the dribble, and he's just in a really, really good groove since he's been healthy. They will have a chance. With Ian Clark came in 15 points in 13 minutes. Xavier Cook's doing what he does, right? Jarrell Martin doing what he does. I don't know who's going to win this championship. Hammer was talking about it on air. This team right here is serious. I'm a fan of the Kings. A couple weeks ago, I almost had a heart attack. Going crazy. I think you were there with me, right? Me, you, and Gaze. Losing my mind with their inability to close games out and lose games down the stretch. But right now, the way this team is looking and that man leading, they're going to go deep in the finals. They're going to go deep. That would be a team I wouldn't want to face because defensively, they lock up too.
Are they now the deepest team in the league? With Ian Clark, you talk about everyone like Vasiljevic, Angus Glover plays his role, Swakala Bullock.
Sean Bruce.
All these guys play their role. Yeah. Are they the deepest team in the league? Melbourne United showing their depth. I think they are.
Offensively, they are. They have weapons. They have a couple of players on that team that can give you 20 any given night. So it's just a matter of them continuing to gel. Jalen Adams, man. This dude is no joke, man. Shout out to Baltimore, the 4-1-0. I know the vibes. That dude is no joke. And you know what he is? He's an aggressive killer. This is the type... That's the guard that Illawarra needs. Illawarra, they just soft. They really are. You don't have a guy on that team that says, my man, give me that pill. I ain't losing tonight. Jalen Adams is that guy.
Well, for Sydney Kings fans, we know that the NBA scouts, all the eyes are on a lot of the NBL players, but on Jalen Adams. So enjoy him for this season.
Listen,
he's had a taste. We know he's had a taste.
He is a problem.
That man is.
That's the guy he's like, like that Casper Ware when he was with Melbourne, that Jerome Randall when he was with Adelaide. Like, you do not want to see that guy. The night before or the week before when you practicing, it's going to be a long night. I got to get my rest because I'm rolling up against this dude. He's coming to kill me.
And he's still made a couple of poor decisions down the stretch. He's got room to grow. That's the scary thing.
What about the Wildcats, though? I mean, they go down by 3, so by no means did they play horrible basketball, but they've got a problem in the middle, don't they? Xavier Cooks and Jarrell Martin were outstanding. Up against Majuk and Matt Hodgson, that was a very, very one-sided battle with the big men. What do they do? Because, Pools, it feels like that's the missing piece for this Wildcats team now, is having a big, strong man in the middle.
Well, you talk about the depth of the other teams, the contenders around the league. I mean, they're deep too, the Wildcats, with Todd Blanchfield when he's healthy, Luke Travers coming off the bench. That's the big question mark. It's going to be there all season. We know they get the run of home games. When you want to look at the contending teams in the league, do you have someone who you can throw at against Jarrell Martin in a series, against Xavier Cooks if he goes to the 5? On the other side, do you have someone who can stop or try and limit Joe Luala-Chul from United? Joe Chi from the Phoenix? That's going to be the question. Majuk was good early. He's petered out a little bit with Matt Hodgson coming back. Big question mark there. Yes, they can play small with Vic Law at the 5, but
that ain't going to work.
It's right. It's a big thing. It's a big thing of how they're going to try and figure it out, what piece. And I'm sure even Perth fans, you can see it online. Where's Nick Kay? Where's John Mooney? Like all these pieces. It'd be great to have, but you've got to figure out how to get the best out of what you've got.
What do they do, Corey?
I think with Michael Frazier, as good as a player as he is, and Todd Blanchfield, they're the same player. So I think that at some point, a move is going to have to be made. You're going to have to, like, that team ain't winning a chip. They're going to be competitive. Yeah, they'll be in the top 4, but they're not going to win a chip. Scott Morrison, former NBA coach, as we know, he ain't coming over here to, like, just be here. He's coming here to win, right? So they're going to have to get an import center. Yeah, a John Mooney, a Nick Kay, that would be ideal. However, it ain't happening.
Yeah.
So I'm sure, come on, this Scott Morrison, man. This man is going to make a play.
That's going to be a big...
get a big down the stretch. Have no fear, Red Army. I said it on Twitter.
Well,
Got a long... How many home games they got?
They're going to have a few.
7 or 8?
They're going to finish top of the ladder.
Ooh.
Oh. I believe they're going to finish top of the ladder for the mere fact that all of those... Come on, man. You know
You're not going out.
RIC Arena, bro.
You're not going out on a limb with that, but I'm with Melbourne United
You know what
on
I
the
mean?
track. Yeah, I'm with you. But it's like Majuk's solid. I love what he does in the league, how he started. Matt Hodgson, we've seen what he can bring when he's consistent, but it's that one figure piece in the middle that they are missing.
Just on the Brisbane Bullets and their game on Saturday against the Phoenix, this is not the first time this season that we've spoken about the Bullets being in winning positions but not closing out. Yes, they're without Nathan Sobey, and I know that James Duncan spoke after the game that they don't exactly know when Sobey's coming back yet, but they had the chances, and they've had their chances in a lot of games. Their record probably should be better than what it is.
Well, Corey said it talking about the JackJumpers, the role player consistency from what Tasmania's doing. That's what they've got to find from the Bullets. The Bullets have, when Nathan Sobey's out there, superstar. Lamar Patterson's been on a superstar level. Robert Frank's starting to get back to the superstar he started with. Everybody else needs to fill in consistently. Kadee's doing a great job passing the rock, but their consistency, they're so hot or so cold from the Brisbane Bullets, and I'm sure James Duncan will be frustrated, the players will be frustrated. And another one where they kind of got a hole in the middle. Harrison has petered out a little bit. They've tried Jack Salt, hasn't had a huge impact. It's shown little things in flashes. There's a lot of worry about what the Bullets, because when they're on,
they look very impressive.
They look unbelievable when they're really locked in and on, but we just haven't seen it enough.
Well, we've had a change to our lineup for this week. Liam Santamaria is not here, unfortunately. He's not feeling well. Rest up, Liam. We know that you'll be watching tonight. But he has sent through his power rankings, and I love that the JackJumpers fans, as soon as they got the job done, they got straight on Twitter on Sunday and were at Liam Santa saying, you've got to show us some love. Well, they have been shown some love. They're up to 5th on the power rankings now.
And they were 9th a week ago.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and they deserve to be right where... This list is spot on.
Ooh. Sydney in 2nd?
This list is spot on.
That list, that's the top 4. I can't argue with that. New Zealand going up after... I know they lost by 30-odd to Melbourne United, but they're not a 30-point worse team than Melbourne United on paper. There's just no way. They're just showing, again, another team that's gone hot, cold. The rest of it looks pretty spot on. Tasmania are just... They're going to be hard. There's no... We see the little separation at the top of the actual ladder, but any team can beat any team on any given night. So you can't just rock up saying, all right, well, we're going to beat Cairns, we're going to beat New Zealand, because they're going to play hard. And if they turn it on, you can find yourself with a loss that if you're a top team, you don't want that. As always, if you've got any thoughts on the power rankings, at Liam Santa on Twitter, don't hit us up. Hit Liam up directly and he can deal with the feedback. The Adelaide 36ers have been swimming around the middle part of those power rankings all season and have been swimming in the middle part of the ladder for much of this Hungry Jacks NBL season. They were 23-9 down at quarter time on Sunday. Didn't look like it, but from there, turned the game around, got the results, and out of it, I think one of the biggest positives was they got Daniel Johnson going. He had 18 and 9, and it looked more like DJ's team on Sunday. Well, it really is. You talk about who's going to be the main guys on rosters. Daniel Johnson just shows that he can do this. He's got to be the main offensive weapon, or at least one of them. But Mitch McCarron looked a lot better in this game. He was their marquee signing. He's been up and down at times, coming off a very poor game. He had 6 turnovers in that loss to the Bullets, but he looked better. He was making plays for other guys. He scored himself. There's a pass to Kai Sotto, who's going to get better with every single game. I like what he's bringing. But it's all about now consistency. That first quarter, if that is not against Cairns, if that's against the Sydney Kings, the Melbourne United, Perth Wildcats or Phoenix, you're not coming back in that game. That game goes from a 15-point margin to a 30-point margin, and it doesn't look good. So they've got to fix those kind of things. But it's a win they must have had. They had to win this game.
Right. And they did.
Can they get going, Corey?
No.
Or is where they are on the ladder about where they belong?
Yep. That's all I got. They can't get going. They're not better than any of those teams above them. You know what I mean? They're where they are because what they've been performing and how they've been playing.
I like that we saw something different. Tad Dufemire out there running the 1, Mitch McCarron running the 2. Just something different, and that's kind of where CJ Bruton's at is, look, I'm looking for answers over here. Let me throw Dufemire, give him a bit of confidence. Mitch McCarron off the ball. So basically now Mitch gets the ball later in the offense to try and make a play rather than bring the ball up, get someone else involved, not see it again. Good little things to tweak, but Daniel Johnson's still the guy to throw the ball to when you need a bucket.
And the GOAT in commentary in that game was maybe a little bit surprised that we didn't see more of Dusty Hannahs. That was the first time we saw him since his heroics against Melbourne, where he sent them into overtime. He's had COVID since. That may have had something to do with his limited court time. But is he starting to live up to the hype that we thought and the talent that we thought he would bring?
Hard to tell, especially when you say coming back from COVID. I mean, we saw Cam Glidden came out and said, look, it's taken him a long time to get back for full health from COVID. He was outstanding. So certain guys take a lot longer to get their win back, to feel good about themselves. And Dusty Hannahs, if that's going to be his role now, just going to have to embrace it and live. But Todd Withers was a bit quiet. He's shown different, again, inconsistencies here or there is what's going to be really hurting the Adelaide 36ers. But Mitch McCarron, Daniel Johnson, those are the 2 guys you've got to get going, and then the rest should follow.
Their opponents, the Cairns Taipans, early looked fantastic. They played with great energy. They were full court press. They were defensive hustle. Things dropped off in a big way. We've since learned from that loss on Sunday that it's been a players-led meeting. Tahir McCall driving it. Adam Ford said this was not one of those fluffy meetings where everyone holds hands and talks about feelings. This was a proper meeting and a lot of truths were put out there. Where to now for the Taipans?
Well, players-only meetings, they need to be had. Good teams find a way to get through that, and a lot of it is trying to get accountability for each player and finger-pointing. Whatever issues you have, you just air it, knowing that this is for the benefit of the team. Now, anyone who's been a professional athlete has sat through a players-only meeting. Some of them can be really rough, but it's how you build back up together. That's the whole idea of it is, let's say what the issues are, let's point them out, what's going on, but then we build everybody back up together and say, we've got to be better than this. From experience, we lost by 42 to Perth before a FIBA break, and we had a players-only meeting led by Chris Golding, and they're not fun, Dave Anderson. But then from there, how do you grow? How do you come back as a team? Adam Ford said in the press conference, the game against the Adelaide 36ers, the Illawarra Hawks, on the big loss by 25, he said, he's ran out of bullets in the chamber. He's been given sprays. He doesn't know how to be able to get through to the players. So this is the next step. It's got to be on them.
Corey, you've been in these situations. You've understood these meetings. A team's not going well. How do you move forward from here after you put everything out on the table?
You have to, be accountable as a group and as an individual. You have to know that, look, I'm not playing my best basketball. How can I give more? What do I need to do more? How can I be more consistent in the areas where I'm lacking? And it comes down to pride. You know what I mean? I'm a man. I got to pay these bills. This ain't given. So my job can be taken away if I don't perform. This is a performance-based profession. So you got to start looking at it like that and come out and be better, individually and collectively.
At the other end of the table, though, you've got Melbourne United. Let's not gloss over their weekend, and let's not gloss over the form that they're showing right now, Hulls. They're red hot. They had 60 on the board at halftime on Sunday against the New Zealand Breakers. They were outstanding on Thursday in the throwdown. Their body of work right now is just superb.
Well, we know defence wins championships. That's what Dean Vickerman's preached, and that's why they've had the success they've had over the years. And that all starts with Joe Larchel came out and said Chaley should be defensive player of the year. He thinks he's the best defender in the league. Now, the issue with that is, okay, but Delhi is setting the tone as the guard to start with. Delhi's been phenomenal on the defensive, not just getting steals, but the containment, fighting through screens. Jack White is one of the best defenders in this league. We saw what he did against Vic Law. He is outstanding one-on-one help defender. Joe Larchel was averaging just under 3 blocks a game. They've got 4 legitimate guys who could put their hand up for that best defender in the league. So as a unit, they're just so tough to beat when they're locked in and doing all the right things. Caleb Agata, no surprise when he's rolling, the rest of the offense clicks. But they are on a bit of a roll, and they're going to need to be. With Perth getting all those home games, you talk about how important home court advantage is when it comes to the finals. That's what Melbourne United is trying to do now, is keep that little bit of a gap up the top.
Joe Larchel Jr. is the best player in the NBL. Let's be clear. The first time this throwdown went down, he got outplayed, and they lost. He got outplayed, okay? Joe Chi. We needed to see to stamp him as what I thought a week ago. We needed to see that matchup. And what he did, 30 points, 9 rebounds, he destroyed Joe Chi, okay? He didn't kill him. He didn't outplay him. He destroyed him. Ever since he got killed by Joe Chi, he's played everybody else and outplayed every other center in the league. He outplayed them. So for him to come back and see you again, you knew he had that on the calendar. You knew that whole team had it on the calendar. But that matchup, there was no matchup. Joe Chi, step your game up. I can't wait to see them match up again. But right now, Joe Luala-Chu Jr., to me, best player in the league.
Do we see Joe Luala-Chu in NBL 23?
I don't think so. There's no way. The way he's playing, I talked about it last week, but his numbers damn near double than what he averaged last year behind Jock Landale, best player last year on the team, and Grand Finals MVP, who's now in the NBA with San Antonio. So for you to play behind him and double the numbers when you get the opportunity, and now the best player in the league, in my opinion, there's no way you're going to be it.
I can't wait to see him start. If he starts with a summer league crack, just the confidence that man has. I love that he's grown his body, but his personality, everything that he's been doing is growing. And if he gets a really good summer league crack and gets
he's a killer.
Oh, it's going to be fun to watch. And I think, we might not be seeing him in the NBL for too much longer.
I don't think he's even going to get summer league. I think he's going to get a straight up deal.
Ooh.
Anybody, like we've seen the case study already, anybody that dominates in this league is on a roster in the NBA now.
Well, he's a 4-man in the NBA. That's the thing. He's not going to be a 5 in the NBA. He played probably the 4, that stretch 4.
But he shoots well enough to be a 4-man, doesn't he?
Exactly right. Yeah. So, and I just love watching his growth. Again, this is why NBA scouts are high on Hook Porty, because he's grown under Dean Dickman in a short period of time. He's learning the game. He's strong. He's getting stronger. He's still raw, but they love the growth that he's had, talking to some NBA scouts, and they're going to be the same with Joe.
Ariel Hook Porty might feature before the end of the show as well. He might bob up in yes or no. But let's get to SANSA's watching with thanks to Amy. Liam not here this week, so Halls, you are in charge of the things that might have just gone under the radar.
Well, there's a few things. He's always watching. This Falcon, this is as bad as it gets when it's a turnover, but the Falcon, look at this big Zim, just cops it straight to the lid and a turnover. Now, this is hilarious. Rattan May's given his shoes up, but he had to put a PSA out there. The orthotics, left his orthotics in there.
Oh, no.
He needs to get them back. They're expensive. He's trying to get them back. Here's Mitch Creek with Brandon Ashley. Just giving him a pat down. You're all good there. But just checking. No more fouls in there, is there? No more fouls in there. But that's one. And we had wedgies galore. 2 wedgies in a week for the NBL. Right here from the block. Cam Besto. I don't even see it from a block, but the best one by far has got to be the Rattan Mays. You're doing a good thing giving your shoes away. Orthotics are tough to come by, and when you wear them for a while, you can't just go get new ones. So hopefully he's found that young fella to get him back.
If you're the young fella, you just keep him. You say, sorry, mate, they came with the shoes.
Can you come and sign my orthotics, please?
Exactly right. Big thanks to Amy, massive supporters of this show, and SANSA's watching as well. Hashtag NBL22 to get involved. Yes or no, not too far away. Let's get to our JD Sports Sneaker of the Week for this week as well. Speaking of great supporters of the show, this is what the Pretzel's rolling with at the moment.
Oh, I love everything that Pretzel's doing, and they're not bad. Just a little touch of blue and pink. Go with their uniform. That's how good they are from the big fella.
I like them. The nice little silver touch as well. This week, the undisputed king of trainers, JD Sports, are launching the women's Air Jordan 1 Elevate Low SE, remixing the original Jordan signature shoe for her. They're complete with a platform midsole that refreshes the icon for a whole new look. They launched this Friday, the 25th of February, online only via the JDAU app. You can download today to make sure that you don't miss out.
I might need those. My wife is going to be all over. That's her favourite colour, favourite shoe. So JD Sports, I'm going to need a bit of help there to get that for my wife.
I hope that my partner doesn't watch this show, because otherwise she's going to be hitting me up for a pair of those sneakers as well. Massive shout out to JD Sports. It is time for yes or no. The final edition, my last crack at this before Cam comes back next.
I do this properly, by the way. You won't get any explanation, just straight up yes or no.
Well, I learned that with Corey last week. He just bluntly said yes or no. I was like, is that it?
That's all you get.
There were these awkward silences. So we're going to be trying to be punchy this week. Corey, should Cairns make a move on Scott Machado?
Ooh, bang.
No.
Peter?
Yes.
Should Dane Pinot be getting more minutes for the South East Melbourne Phoenix, right?
Yes. I'm going to throw in there. Best big defending ball screen in the league. Always has been.
This is a very simple yes or no, Corey, which I think I know the answer to. Ian Clark, yes or no?
Yes.
He looked really, really crisp. Pete, should Illawarra be taking a look at their starting lineup, which has been pretty settled all year long, and making a change to their 5?
Yes, and other things for that as well.
Ariel Hook-Porty, is he the ultimate hype guy in the NBL? That man stands on the bench waving a towel all day, and then when he gets on the court, he flexes, he loves it. He brings energy.
Yes.
He's just a good character. Him and
Yes.
Caleb Agard are getting along, a house on fire off the court from all reports, and they're just fun people.
And finally, this is for both of you. You can both have a crack at this one. Jalen Adams has only missed 5 games. When you go back and do the numbers, he actually hasn't missed that much basketball.
Here we go.
Can he make a run at the MVP?
Yes.
Yes.
Big time.
Yes, he can.
Overwhelming yes from both of you.
Do we have any no's there?
No.
Just that one.
There we go.
I think that's interesting with Jalen Adams. I went and had a look after Sunday's game.
Oh, tearing it
Because
up.
the perception is that he missed a chunk of the season, etc., etc. It's only 5 games.
Yeah.
Well, he was a bit slow trying to come back from those games and figuring out that, okay, I'm the guy here. That's what it took a couple of games after that. But no doubt about it that he's going to be in the MVP conversation. Mitch Krieg, just tape it off a little bit. If he picks it back up, really you're looking at a 4-horse race.
Let's go to what's coming up, and it all starts on Thursday night for round 13. There's some really, really interesting games in amongst this as well, boys. And we start with the Cairns Taipans. They are on their home floor at the convention centre. They just need to play better basketball. I don't think that's a big statement.
Well, that's what you want. You have the players-only meeting. Then you're thinking, we just want to play again. Can we show that we're going to be able to bounce back from this? That's going to be a huge... The fans, the energy they play with, Adam Ford just pleading for them to buy in. I love what Adam Ford is building up there. I think the culture is what Cairns need. That's why we're seeing Keanu Pinder flourish in the right situation. Everybody else has to come along for the ride now.
Friday night, Corey, at the Wynn Entertainment Centre, Illawarra Hawks hosting the Adelaide 36ers. We haven't touched the Hawks today so far, or tonight so far on the show. How important is this game?
Extremely important. They need to have a players-only meeting as well. Coach Gorgon, as great of a coach as he is, he's not on the court playing. These guys need to collectively and individually take a look in the mirror and man up, because that is a must-win.
Oh, yes. I mean,
man.
the other day was a must-win. I mean, look at the last few games.
They've had a few of these lately.
Are they any chance to fix things and make the finals?
They're not making finals. There's a chance. They have a chance,
But you don't see it.
They're not making finals.
It's going to be tough.
Didn't you see last week's show? Corey put him in the bin. And
Yeah,
not like
yeah,
Oscar
I'm
the
done.
Grouch, where you can look over the top. He put
done.
them in the bin and closed
I'm
them.
with you, though. Players only meeting, they're accountable. Gorge is the GOAT. We know what he's trying to do, but it comes down to some players stepping up, and role clarity, I think, is the big thing.
Jump ahead to Saturday. Brisbane and Tasmania first and foremost. You wouldn't rule this out for Tassie with the way that they're going. They could comfortably go to Nissan Arena and win this, couldn't they?
No doubt. I mean, you talk about no Will Magnay hurts them, but they're coming up against, there's no real 5-man presence. Harrison's not going to have 30 on the night, Jack Salt or Big Lou. So they can go into that game the way they play tough. And if you turn the ball over or if they're shooting the ball well, good things can happen.
That game's going to be really interesting.
Yep.
The biggest game of the round, I think, Corey, is Saturday night, 8 o'clock, John Cain Arena. For fans of Melbourne basketball, get your tickets and get to John Cain Arena. The Phoenix and the Wildcats.
Oh, man. I am really, really excited for that, because 2 losses, they got to come back and be ready, right?
Perth,
of course. 2 losses, they got to come out this game and be ready. You know Scott Morrison, he's not playing that. He's not coming here to be embarrassed. But the Phoenix, on the other hand, Bryce Cotton, you know how Bryce Cotton gets down in John Cain Arena.
Specialist.
And you know what he did last time against Phoenix?
They put the beat down on them.
There you go. So the Phoenix, they'll be right. This will be a big game.
And while we're on the Wildcats...
If I'm not working, I'm in the building.
Getting free tickets with your sunglasses on inside. Just quickly, Monday night, a massive night again for Tasmanian basketball. The JackJumpers will host the Wildcats. Tassie fans have been so good at selling out MyStat Bank Arena. This is a monster game.
Well, the way they're playing, if they go and get a win on Brisbane, it's just a good vibe down there on the water. So if you haven't been there and you're in Tassie, you haven't been in the game yet, get there, because I'm trying to get down and get one too.
Yeah,
Well-
I'm trying to get down there too.
Hools, you've been outstanding. Thank you for subbing in. Did a great job.
Thanks, mate. It's always a pleasure. Just a late call-up.
Homicide, as always, you were just fresh. You brought the energy. You were superb. We are going to be back next week. You can use the hashtag NBL22. Thanks for watching Overtime.